Hi guys, good morning. Very nice to be here um, today. Connecting with all of you. I just wanted to set the context before I start my session. I'll introduce myself. So I'm Saravanan. I work as program manager sustainability for Kumaraguru Institution. And I also have another role. So I work as administrative officer for Kumaraguru Institute of Agriculture. So I'm sure most of you know. So Kumaraguru Institute of Agriculture is around 100 kilometers from our campus in Coimbatore. So we have an agriculture college which is affiliated to Tamil Nadu Agri University. So I work there as an administrative officer. Today I think the session is on your a subject that you guys have in the first year, environmental science. So why am I here to talk about it, right? I'm passionate about nature and environment. So apart from the role that I do in the work, I run an NGO called Wild Wing Trust. We work with tribal children in Annamalai Tiger Reserve and also a lot of wildlife conservation activities. And also, I also run another organization called Canopy Nature Academy. So where I do a lot of nature education program for children, right? So basically, I'm very passionate about nature and environment. So that has led me to this job that I'm currently pursuing. And to give a background, so actually I handle this environmental science studies subject for the first batch of class. I think 2 years ago when class was started, I think there were less than 100 students in the first batch when class was started. So I handled a whole semester for them. I was actually not working with Kumaraguru institutions then, but still I handled. I was a visiting tutor handling the sessions for the first batch, and I thoroughly enjoyed, sharing knowledge with your seniors, and they did very well, right? So now I just I'll structure my session in two parts. So one is to give you an overview on sustainability and what is our campus doing, right? So number one, so I will introduce all of you to a project called Microcosm, right? So I don't know whether you guys learned about it already during your orientations and all that, right? So we have a very interesting project, that was constituted around, I think, 1.5 years ago. So it was called Kumaraguru Microcosm. You all know that our campus is huge. So it is in Coimbatore. Our campus, the size of our campus is 150 acres, and we actively occupy around 80 acres of land in our campus for our academic purposes, right? So our campus itself is a small community by itself, because there are, on an active day, on a busy active day, when both Kumaraguru College of Technology and Liberal Arts and Science both are fully functioning, we have a peak number of around 7,000 users using the campus, right? So we ourselves are a community. We have a labor, we have quarters, we have our own waste management system, we have our own water management system, we have our own energy management system. So it is more like a small community. So what we thought was, it is very important to work on sustainability aspects of our own campus, right? So our campus itself, before we go talk to people outside, we thought it's very important to do something within our campus. So my project Microcosm works on actually or 5 different aspects, a few focus areas. So one is energy and emission. So the other is water security. And the next one is waste management. How do we manage the waste in the campus? The next one is biodiversity enrichment. Right. So our campus already has around 4,000 plus trees, our students have documented 75 plus bird species in the campus throughout the year. And we have also documented so many other flora in the campus. So we work on making sure that we retain this biodiversity and make sure that we don't degrade the biodiversity that we already have. And we also work on seeing how we can actually enrich this biodiversity, right? So we work on biodiversity a lot. And the other thing is on the awareness among the students, because awareness among the users. See, all this is possible only if we engage with the users of the campus, right? So because only if all the students actually be conscious about how they dispose the waste of the students and faculty of the campus or the users of the campus be conscious about how they manage the water, we can see a significant change in how we actually do something for water management in the campus. So we primarily engage with the stakeholders through this awareness vertical. So we have 5 verticals in which through which we work on this sustainability project called Kumuruguru Microcosm in our Coimbatore campus, right? So we have full-time people working on the team, and we also have a huge group of student volunteers who are part of Kumuruguru Microcosm. Right, so students like you on the first year, actually, whenever you guys come, we used to have a fantastic orientation session, taking all the first years around the campus, showing them how we harvest the rainwater, how we compost our waste, how we manage our waste, how do we maintain our trees, how is gardening happening, how is our vegetable garden, right? So we keep engaging with the students, and the students in turn start volunteering with us till they study in the campus or till they move out in the campus. So this is how Kumuruguru Microcosm as a project works. So I just wanted to take you, I'm just sharing my screen. I wanted to take you through some works that we have. So can someone ping in the chat and tell me whether you're able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, we are able to see you.
Yeah, are you able to see my screen? I'm not able to.
Yeah. If you could go to full screen, I think we are able to see it. Now we are able to see the window. Yes, sir, we are able to see. Perfect, sir.
Yeah. So let me just take you through what we have done so far, right? So a few things which I already told. So we have 4,250 trees which belong to 67 different species. In the last 1 year, we have added 400 plus trees inside our campus, right? So we share our campus with 70 species of birds, 50 species of butterflies. We have a systematic process to scientifically document them, and students are involved in bird watching, butterfly watching, and documenting all this. So many things are happening already. And we have reduced our chemical use, that is weedicide and pesticide, for landscaping. So since it's a very huge campus, landscape maintenance itself is a very, very important task. We have more than I think 20 workers who are engaged in maintaining the landscapes of our campus. Where we have completely reduced the weedicide and pesticide usage that will harm the biodiversity of the campus. So that is why I think that is the effect that we see, the huge diversity of flora and fauna that we see in the campus. And we have also established 2 edible gardens, a backyard garden and a rooftop garden in the campus, and we produce our own organic vegetables, right? So and you guys know, see, our campus, the kitchen in our campus actually cooks for more than 3,000 people every single meal when it is active, right? So we generate around 250 kilograms of vegetable peel waste alone every day in the kitchen, in our kitchen. So we convert all these vegetable waste into a rich biocompost inside the campus, right? So we have a set up facility and processes to produce 2,500 kg of compost every month, through this process. And also our campus has facilities to harvest 83 lakh liters of rainwater, right? So we have 6 recharge wells within the campus. We have 2 percolation ponds in the campus. So these are some very interesting aspects that we have added in the last few 1 year. And we have put up a policy on paper usage. So for the students, so most of you know that whenever there is a project, uh, the the faculty or the academic team, and you've been asked to print a lot of reports, right? Maybe a 4-member team doing a final year project will submit 5 hard copies of single side printed project report, right? So we have brought in a policy in such a way that every project report should be double side printed. So that itself reduced like a 50% of the usage of paper by the students. And we have also brought in a policy that we will not require multiple copies. We will require only one copy that will be used only if the student wishes. Otherwise, it will still be a soft copy, right? So and what is our priority for this year, which we have already started, right? So we are building something called as a resource recovery park, right? So what is a resource recovery park? A centralized facility for the campus where all the used resources will be managed and recovered. So that is what happens is, every day we dispose so many things that we don't use, right? So all this will go to the centralized facility. So we are building this on a half an acre plot within our campus. So that is still under construction, and we aim to launch it in another 1 or 2 months. So that will be a breakthrough program and a project that has not been done at any institution or even industry. So that is something that we are prioritizing and working right now. So we are working on a purchase policy, right? So every single purchase has a sustainability aspect to it. So where do we purchase? What do we purchase? What is the effect that our purchase has on our carbon footprint, right? So that we are working on a like paper usage policy. We are working on a purchase policy where we will define on what level of products that we should purchase and what we should avoid, and how it should be purchased. So sustainability education. So actually, we tried to launch with your Kumaraguru College of Liberal Arts and Science a 3-month certificate program on campus sustainability for students and admin personnel from industries and institutions. So, but as of now, we dropped down this program because of the pandemic, because of many reasons. And we have another fantastic project called Ahimsa Vanam, a consciously curated experiential groove. It's like a forest within the campus, a 1 acre forest with 150 species of flora, which will be a fantastic thing when you visit the campus and see, right? So I would say that you should all look at our Instagram page, Kumaraguru microcosm. We added 5 very beautiful looking geese to our pond in Ahimsa Vanam yesterday, right? So we just posted it yesterday in our social media, and all the students were like, when do we come back to the campus to see it? Just go and take a look at the goose, swimming in the pond of Ahimsa Vanam. So it will be fantastic. When you guys come into the campus, I'm sure you will cherish the experience that you will have with Ahimsa Vanam. So, and we have a native tree nursery. So all this is established already because we prioritized this for this year. We're already working. We have already raised 150,000 native trees of 60 different species in our campus in the next 6 months, right? So we are partnering with an NGO to work and create a wider impact in the region. So we are also working on sustainability consulting. So right, so we do so many things in our campus. Why don't we take this to other campuses and industries and facilities? So we are working to see how we can take our best practices to the other industries. Right. So these are some things that I thought I should share with you. And one more small presentation with some visuals of things that I talked about right now. right? So I'll just quickly right? So biodiversity. See, these are some kind of roadside rainwater harvesting structures. So whenever water flows, we harvest on the road through these roadside rainwater harvesting structures. And we did this percolation pond on I think October 2nd, 2019. We engaged our students on to create this percolation pond, which got filled up after some rain. So through such ponds, we actually harvest more than 83 lakh liters of water. So this is the kind of a module that we have our kitchen waste composting. Look at how all our vegetable wastes are converted, right? So we all the vegetable peels that come every day are just made to are composted this way, and what you see black color is like a black, we call it black gold, very rich in nutrition and very rich in um, nutrition for the plants in the campus that we circulate. So we also have one of the state of the art state of the art sewage treatment plant. So we use around 7 lakh liters of water every single day, right? So 7 lakh liters of water every single day in our campus. So what happens is, whenever we use all the water used is treated, recycled, and then to sent back for landscaping purposes. And we have some backyard garden. We have a rooftop garden atop of core. So these are some facilities that we have. We also have fantastic solar plant which supplies a lot of energy to our campus. So this is Ahimsa Vanam before it started. So but you guys, you should take a look right now. So it's totally transformed into 6 months now, and more than 6 months, and it has been totally transformed. And this place is not like this. It's totally different, and it has a great feel right now. So these are some aspects of Kumraguru microcosm that I thought I should tell all of you before I even start talking about the subject what you guys are asked to study through this course, right? So all of you can volunteer on any of these sustainability initiatives at Kumraguru campus, right? So you can be a part of Kumraguru microcosm. So this is a very interesting initiative. It is where the students are very active, and they keep engaging with us in many programs. So if you can write to us through our Instagram page. So our Instagram account is Kumraguru Microcosm. So if you guys take a look, if you can if you are interested to volunteer, just send a note through our Instagram page. I think we will be able to have you enrolled as a volunteer and keep you all communicated whenever we have some events coming up in the future. If you are passionate about nature, environment, wildlife, photography, going on a trek, going on a nature walk, going on a camping, if you are interested in pets, animals, all this, then Kumraguru Microcosm is the place where you want to be, to make sure that you retain that passion, in the college, in the campus, through the years when you are here, right? So I'm stopping my section on microcosm. So this is just to give you on what actually I'm working on right now, right? So this is what I work. Okay, my screen. And so now let's start. Let's see, what your syllabus is all about, what the subject is all about, right? So I think it very much links with so many, integrates with so many things that we talk right now. And let me take yours. I think it has 5 units. Let's just take a look at the structure in an academic perspective. So how is this whole subject placed? It's, what are the units, right? So I see that the syllabus has 5 units. So the first unit is multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. So this basically, I think, a unit which talks about how diverse is environment, right? So environment studies is not a small thing. So when you talk about nature or environment, it involves a huge lot of things, right? Right from waste management, looking at a small aspect of energy, biodiversity, so many topics that I talked about. So everything comes under environmental studies. So it's very huge. So if you look at biodiversity, there is a sea of topics and syllabus, sea of topics that you have to learn and understand about biodiversity. On waste management, there is huge amount of things that you can learn. So environmental science is huge. It is multidisciplinary. So why multidisciplinary? Because every single skill has opportunity to contribute to environment, right? So for example, if somebody is a civil engineer, they can contribute through so many ways in building a better building, better environmentally conscious campuses, designing there are so many opportunities that a civil engineer can contribute. So if it is a if he's an electronics engineer, he can contribute in so many ways. If you are a visual communication person, there is so many things that you can do in creating awareness, sharing the message across to the people, making sure that there is so many, designing a campaign, a lot of things that you can contribute towards the environment. So if you are an economic person, there is so many things that you can contribute. Literature, there is a lot of things. So environment, actually environmental studies is a very, very multidisciplinary. So I think the first unit talks a lot about that, and the second unit talks a lot about natural resources, right? So renewable and non-renewable resources. I'm sure all of you must have read about this in your schools in many forms. So it talks about forest resources, water resources, mineral resources, food resources, energy resources, and land resources, right? So it talks about natural resources and their associated problems. So what are the problems with the water forest resources? Forests, are shrinking. All of you know that. Global data shows that the forests are shrinking. So why? What is the reason behind it, and what are the effects? Why is it shrinking? Is it because of plantation, deforestation, silviculture, mining? Why is it shrinking? I think it talks a lot about that. So water resources. I think it talks about a lot about the surface water, underground water, rainwater harvesting, and so many aspects of water is being taken care of through that part of the unit. And mineral resources tells about so many things on mineral extraction and case studies. Food resources, energy resources, and land resources. So and specifically at the end of this unit, the syllabus talks about the role of an individual in conservation of natural resources and equitable use of resources for sustainable lifestyle. Which both of which are very, very important, right? So role of an individual, how as so sustainability and environment conservation or being an environmental steward is not just a practice, it's a lifestyle. How do you adopt as a lifestyle? You should make decisions in every single thing that you do, every single purchase that you do, every, for example, it is up to you to decide whether you will go on a public transport or drive in your own car, right? So you drive your own car, your carbon footprint is more. You go, you share and go along with your friends, your carbon footprint is less. If you stay close to the college or close to your work, you have less carbon footprint, as to your transport mode of transport may be limited, and your how what you emit to the environment as a carbon footprint may be less. So your choice of lifestyle plays a lot of a lot of role in contributing to environment and conservation. So as an individual, there are so many things that we can get involved and contribute to be conservationists. And equitable use of, so these are what the second unit talks about. And ecosystem, I think the third unit is all about ecosystem. So what is the concept of ecosystem? I'm sure again this also is very basic and most of you would have learned. The ecosystem is nothing but a food chain. So forest ecosystem is an ecosystem, pond ecosystem is an ecosystem. So how everything is interlinked, how one depends on each other, how damage to one part of the ecosystem actually collapses the whole cycle. So I think this is what the unit conveys a lot. So it's more on structure and functions of an ecosystem, producers, consumers, decomposers, and energy flow in an ecosystem, ecological successions. And again, it talks about forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, desert, and aquatic ecosystem. So it talks about all that, third unit. So for the fourth unit is biodiversity and its conservation, right? So this again is very relevant to something that I told you already. So biodiversity is different from so what is biodiversity? So biodiversity is a mix of everything, right? From a microbe in the soil. You pick a handful of soil, you will have millions and millions of microorganisms in the soil. So you pick up get into a water, you will have millions and millions of microorganisms in the water, and the biodiversity is from the microorganism to an elephant and a tiger, right? So everything together is a biodiversity, right? So enriching the biodiversity means a lot, and only a rich biodiversity, a place with rich biodiversity will have so many ecological services that it can provide. So the fourth unit talks about more about biodiversity and the reason, right? So it talks about biodiversity at global, national, and local levels, and India as a mega diversity nation. So India, I'm sure all of we are very very rich in biodiversity, right? So you go to Himalayas, it's unique, super unique, and you don't so not many parts of the world have fantastic mountains and ecosystems like Himalayas. Look at Western Ghats. Western Ghats is one of the hottest biodiversity hotspots of the world, right? So we have animals and species that are not found anywhere else in the world. 25% of the birds and mammals are endemic to Western Ghats, which means that they are found only in the Western Ghats and not anywhere else in the world. So right, so that is how rich we are. So we are very very rich. So India is it's a mega diversity nation, right? So and then it talks about threats to biodiversity because of habitat loss, poaching of wildlife, man-wildlife conflict. Again, a very very interesting topic that we can talk about for hours and hours. We see in the news there is a huge amount of human-elephant conflict. There are man-eaters coming, and what are the reasons behind it, and in so many aspects of that. So endangered and endemic species of India, conservation of biodiversity. So many, all this I think comes under the unit 4, right? So unit 5 is all about pollution. So this also, I'm sure, basics you would have learned in the schools. So it talks about air pollution, water pollution, soil, marine pollution, noise pollution, thermal and nuclear hazards, right? So solid, and also it talks a lot about solid waste management. So that is directly on what we do with Resource Recovery Park at Microcosm, right? So how do we manage solid waste at city, at the level of city, as a nation, as a campus, as a household? How do you manage it in your home, right? So I think it talks a lot about that. So role of an individual in preservation of pollution, prevention of pollution, and some case studies are there in unit 5. And there is also a sixth unit which talks about social issues and environment, right? So what is unsustainable to sustainable development, and it talks a lot about problems, and specifically on the sixth unit talks about a lot of laws that we have to know. It talks about Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It talks about Forest Conservation Act, and it talks about air, air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act. It talks about Environment Protection Act. These are some basic things that everyone as a citizen, as an individual should know. I think the sixth unit talks about all that. And the seventh unit, so human population and the environment. So population growth, variation among nations, a population explosion, family welfare programs. It talks about so many things. I think I thought you just have 5 units. I think there's still 8 units are there. So seventh unit talks about human population and environment. I'm sure all of you would agree that human um, population is one of the biggest reason for carbon, high amount of carbon emissions and high amount of resource sharing with other inhabitants of Earth, right? So it talks about that, and the eighth unit is field work. That is what I see. So visit to a local area to document environmental assets: river, forest, grassland, hill, mountain. So visit to a locally polluted site, study common plant, insect, birds. So eighth unit is all about field visit, project work, and study. Right. So I think this is how this whole syllabus is structured, and there are 8 units. I think you will all go through an exam in this subject as well. So I thought I will introduce all of you to this topic. Uh, I mean the subject today, and tell how the structure is. And most of this is like a self study, right? So you may not need somebody to run through line by line and then explain you what that phrase talks about. But what I can suggest to your academic team and your academic leadership, I can suggest them that there is at least one session for each unit, because it's very important to understand from a syllabus perspective how the questions will come from, your how the questions will be asked, how you have to answer. So it's important to understand from a syllabus perspective, because we can go and talk in general on and on about environment and all these topics, right? So every single topic is huge. So I would recommend and ask and also suggest your academic team to make sure that all of you go through at least one session in each unit, so that you cover you get an overview before you go and write your exam on environmental studies. So this is something that I had for the day. And if any of you have so let me see whether I can see our live streaming in class. So if you guys have anything to ask me, can you? Maybe I thought let it not be very monotonous. We can have some interaction. So if you guys have any questions or thoughts, something that you want to share, you guys can just type it on your chat box or something. Let me see whether I'm able to see it, and then maybe try to answer. So I see questions or something that we want to share. Super. I see all good morning, nothing other than good morning. There are 147 people watching. So any questions? Can you guys put it on the chat? So did you all take a look at our our Instagram page? If you have time now, please try to take a look at it, so you will get a lot of understanding on the kind of activities that we do, right? So I'm also trying to see what's happening there. Oh, super. I think some of you have already started looking at it. So I see some class students in our page. So will the questions be in general or detailed, sir? That was a question. I really don't know. I did not go through the exam. I did not see the question papers. I think this is the question that you should ask your seniors. So I'm actually not an academician. So I don't know how the structure of the question paper is and all that. So I think it's be a question to you, somebody from class should answer. Thank you, Mridula. I think Mridula asked the question. Thanks for asking this. So, anyone else? You have any questions? Anything on microcosm in general? On sustainability, on volunteering? How you want to be a part of? Would you like to volunteer? Something, whatever you feel on sustainability. Super. There is a note from class that last year question paper will be shared through department. That will help.
So if we don't have questions, we can wind up the session, sir.
Yeah, I think we can wind up the session. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for listening. So it was an opportunity for me to introduce all of you to sustainability, specifically on microcosm, and also tell you all about what we do. So we'll look forward to see whether I can take a few sessions. So I think tomorrow also I have a session planned in the morning with you guys. So I will try to see, maybe I select one unit among the syllabus of yours and see whether I can give you a better clarity and more detailed thoughts in terms of the syllabus that you guys have for your systems. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening.